Hello, friends, and good brunch afternoon, and welcome to our Peach Brunch. The crew is back together again. We're chit-chatting about relationships as usual. That's just like hot topics.
But you know what? It's we can't stop talking about it because every time we look up, we're inundated with it.
No,
because
you
like
cannot
I was
stop
saying,
talking about it.
you know what? But
Y'all in the relationship.
I bet I'm not
looking
for the
me.
streets.
Yeah.
that's
for the
you that's
streets.
for the streets. The streets is talking. However,
Your man
comma. But for real, though, let's talk back about submission.
Yeah, because we had that lengthy conversation
Right.
about what does that really mean now, though.
But for me, if a man says to me, like I told you, my friend said to me that he was looking for a woman to be submissive the way grandma was.
Oh,
Now, are they
like
just
grandma.
getting that from the Bible and
grandma?
bringing it forward, and
Not
that's
my
something
grandma.
that's
Not
just
my
jargon
grandma.
that's out there now? Is he talking about submissive, like he
Well,
want to
like-
lock you up in the bed,
Well,
like
does it mean
50
he
Shades
just
of
wants
Grey
to be quiet?
submissive?
No, I think
Because
he-
can
I
get
think-
with
I-
that
That's
one.
different.
I can get
I
with
think
that
he
one.
No, I think
call
he
him
wants
daddy,
a woman
daddy.
to cook and clean,
What's the problem
then
with
to
that?
look after the kids, and
nothing wrong
then it's nothing wrong with that until you throw in,
I gotta
you-
work.
I
too.
gotta work,
Yeah.
and then 50-50.
Yeah.
Well, has it changed, though? Because it is a little bit of the modern woman. But let's go back. Why is it wrong for you guys to submit to each other? Now, him fully
there's
submitting
nothing
if it's
wrong
But
one side.
customarily, when you think about submission with grandma was the one that was doing all the concessions.
Right,
Yeah.
the cooking, the cleaning,
The
But
cooking,
grandma
taking
also
care
wasn't
of,
working, probably.
Right.
Also,
In a lot of
right,
cases,
that's
right.
true.
So grandma had
That's
time on her
Hey,
hands.
But
to
grandma
do it.
had
Yeah,
time on
that
her
was her
hands,
job.
but she could be submissive. But this is the thing. My question is, can modern men even afford submission? Because grandpa,
That's that part.
had
afford
grandpa
it.
took
My
care of the
My
house.
nails, my makeup. I need
But that's
all
what I'm
that
saying.
still
But
done.
grandpa took care of the house.
Right.
Grandpa even had a side piece that he took care of her
A
kids
whole
across
family.
side.
Down
Grandpa
the
had
street.
land, but these modern men don't have our water to cry with. You trying to
Define that.
What does that mean?
Okay.
What era is that from?
Okay, well let me okay.
I think at the
You
end
ain't
of the
got a
series we'll have
window.
a definite.
You ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw
Throw
it
it
out.
out of. So I think that's a little better one. He don't have a pot to piss in or window to throw it out of. And like I
Now
said,
he
in
wants you
my
to be
window,
submissive.
in my building, windows is expensive.
And my
these
house
men-
windows,
And
house
so,
windows
right,
are
so
expensive.
windows are expensive, and so for you to want me to cook and clean and and then
Have you established
but grandma wore a muumuu, but then I gotta go to Victoria's Secret, I gotta go to Casino, I gotta go to these
Lane
places.
Bryant,
Right,
get
but
all-
what
yeah,
I'm saying
get
is a
all
bra
dolled
costs
up.
$150, panties cost $20. You trying to just
did
for
we
one
get
pair? You know what I mean? So I paid $200 for a set.
and he
And
just
who
want to take
paid
it all
for
for you.
That's what I'm
anyway.
saying. You can't even
for
afford
this. Yeah.
submission.
It takes
Yeah.
a lot to keep up the modern woman.
Yeah.
Exactly.
More
so
than
the-
it took grandma.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
now, and they don't want to pay the price. So
But
what?
you-
why can't you
but
do
they
it
hit
yourself?
to
To
submission.
But this
But
is
they
the
don't wanna
question. You
pay the
can't
price.
pay
Do it
the
yourself,
admission
though.
for submission. But this is my biggest thing too. Is that if the median, because y'all know I'm the money girl.
Yeah.
But if you make $43,000 a year, that's the median income for a black man, 55 for a white man. So
Wow.
then when Uncle Sam come and get his 20 to
That put a lot of-
25%, so
He don't have much
you
left
don't, you
over
ain't
to
got
be
much
able to do
left
too
over.
much
it.
with
Then
it.
don't throw in the fact that it's $17,000 a
And then
year
most black
to
men
take
coming
care
with
of a
child
child.
support. That-
So if you got 2 or more children, that's $34,000 a year. You can't afford submission, sir.
Yeah.
But dude, I mean,
Well,
but
what's
that's
your
not
difference?
everybody. So does finances
You can't-
define submission?
But this is the
so
thing.
you'll submit to a man
but
that can't
this is the
afford it
thing.
and got money
If you,
to do it?
this, let me explain something to you.
That's not like a
If
law,
you
dude.
don't, no, my thing is if you have
I mean,
zero
you
responsibilities,
fit, right?
if you have zero responsibilities, you are more inclined to be able to do the things that a man may necessarily want you to do. But you can't work somebody to death, then you want them to submit to everything that you need and give you everything.
Well,
but she
we
got to
give
work,
it
she
up
got to
in
cook, she got to
relationships
clean,
anyway.
she got to take care of the kids, she
But I
got
think
to
it's also about
tutor,
what
she
you
got to
allow.
chauffeur,
Yeah.
she got to do all of
I
these
think you can be
things.
submissive and not necessarily have to do all of those responsibilities.
But it's
I also think
like-
it's about having effective communication too.
I think it's
But
sharing shared responsibility.
I think it's shared
I think it's
responsibility.
I definitely believe
as
it's a
well.
share, especially
But I
today.
do.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of men that don't believe in shared responsibility.
They come to the
It's
gate
still a
saying
lot of men
the
who
old
think because they
perspective
they work eight hours a day, they will come home, sit
That's
on the
enough.
sofa, drink a beer, watch the TV,
That sound like
and
somebody's
then
daddy.
watch a woman
Great
do
Somebody's
everything
granddaddy.
else.
I heard about that.
And so when,
and great
But
but that's the
granddaddy.
thing.
You like
So, but when you
grandma.
said,
You newly at the game.
I'm newly in the
You
game,
newly
yeah,
at it.
and
Now
so-
you're
So
like,
do you
okay,
share?
what's the
She ain't
transition?
doing
Yeah,
that
you know,
shit.
for me, I'm not doing that. I just can't
let
because
somebody else do it.
well, here's the thing. My philosophy is like if I have to work full time, then we are going to have equal responsibility.
Right.
It won't be me submitted. No, you gonna cook.
Yep.
And I will cook. I'm gonna
Right.
take maybe Monday, Wednesday. You gonna take Tuesday,
But
Thursday,
what if the
Friday,
man-
Saturday,
what if
and
he
Sunday.
likes to cook and or she likes to cook? Because now most men ain't coming to the table cooking, and
Yeah.
women for that matter. Ain't
Well, I
nobody
think that
raising
starts
kids
in the
nowadays
beginning
to be
too,
able to
because
do
you
that, but-
in the beginning you have to set the tone of your relationship, and
You
I
do.
think that's where we go wrong is that we don't talk about what we're looking for and what we expect in the very beginning.
But you know
And
what?
then
A
that
lot
just
of
carries us
people.
down the road of-
But the
Yeah.
thing is a lot of people will hide because especially if you are a man who expects a woman to carry the bulk of a domestic role and then work too, it's not easy to come
And
out and
it's
say,
that's a
I
heavy
want to
load.
work
That-
you into right. It's
a
not
heavy
a way
load
to
to
come.
carry.
And then also too, you got to say you got to observe how was he raised
Right.
because if he watched his daddy sit on his butt
Be
or
raised
didn't watch
old-
his
in an
or
old
didn't
school
have a
type of way.
daddy at all,
Yeah.
so then he's seen his mama do nothing
Everything.
but work.
Well,
Yeah.
and she did
Regardless
everything.
of what
but-
you viewed and what you've seen and how you were brought up, you are still an adult and you're responsible to act
Right.
accordingly.
But
And you're responsible to
unfortunately,
evolve
people
to your
don't do
relationship.
that.
I think it's just a philosophy that we bring forward because we want to set expectations and not know what those expectations need to be,
Right.
And or not know how to communicate that. So if you go into church now, you know they teaching men up in the church that a woman needs to be submissive because they go back to the word and to the Bible to say, okay, this is what's written, and so we come with those
the next
philosophies.
question
and then
is
they're
the
women
Bible
need to be
antiquated?
submitted. Now that's a whole different
That's a-
question
yeah,
because you
that's a
got to go
whole-
back to do you even still believe
I don't even
in
think we
those
have time for
types
that
of
on this
conversations?
show.
Right.
I ain't gonna
'Cause
question
that
God and His
religion,
word.
You know, religion is something different. You know.
Ain't got nothing to do with what God said.
Okay.
And so
Oh,
I'm just going to bed.
okay.
But
Yeah,
I just
I'm just going to bed.
think that I think that you when you're asking somebody to be submissive and you're asking them to be like grandma, at that point
But
you're
are
saying to me that you want somebody who's going to do all of the
Well,
domestic
how
work.
old is this man that you're talking about?
That's
That
what
you-
I wanna know.
Is the man 60?
No, he's not.
And do he
60.
have an
He's
old
in
people
his-
fetish?
he's-
'Cause
He
but
does.
he's in his 50s.
But it don't even matter age because if you were raised by your grandparents and they were taught,
Now,
taught
that's
or
a
taught
lot
you
of people that were
then
raised
that's
by
one
their
thing, too,
grandparents,
that's
especially
come
our
into the
generation.
That is
situation.
true.
Yeah.
And so, but my thing is that most men do not make enough money to move the way Grandpa did.
I don't
So
think
you
it's
can't
necessary-
afford.
No, it's
I don't
all
think
the way,
I don't
all the
think
way
it's
about her
necess-
money. and
Exactly.
the
I don't
dollars.
think it's necessarily
Okay,
about
let
the
him
money.
rule,
I
nothing
think
that
there
gotta
are
do with
different
money.
levels to submission.
Okay.
I think there are times where there are some men that don't like their woman to work. That's a level of submission. And they want
If
you
he's
to do all the
providing, if
responsibilities.
he's providing.
If he's providing.
And I
But I
yeah.
also think
That's
modern
different.
day submission means that a lot of women are successful. And a lot of women are, they don't
They
take
get that check and they don't take no shit.
They don't
Yeah.
take no
No.
shit.
They're like,
No.
I
You
don't
know,
wanna hit
Well,
this
they don't
old
have
man,
to.
this is
They're
the
strong.
best-
But you don't
you
have to.
No, no.
You don't
But
have
you
to take
still
no
wanna-
stuff.
But
You
the
still need a
role
man
of a
to-
woman,
yeah.
especially a black woman, has evolved, right? To
Correct.
try to prove herself, to get places in life,
To get
climb
educated,
the corporate
children.
ladder, to be educated.
A
And so
provider.
it makes it to be right.
Yeah, it changes
For
the
herself.
dynamics of it.
Right.
Right.
So it changes the dynamic of it, and I don't think that a lot of men can handle
do that.
the new
Right.
age woman.
Right.
Well, I think what
A
happens
lot of women
too,
come
So,
across as more masculine.
masculine.
and I was about to go there because
Right.
the masculine does
Yeah.
come along with the provider.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because the feminine comes along with the nurturing.
Right.
The provider comes along with the masculine. And when as women we take on the provider role because
Yeah.
we're thrust into that and
Yeah.
responsible for that, now we're like,
Yeah.
I'm not, submissiveness is gone. Now
Yeah.
if you was a
Right.
provider and you was bringing that to the table,
Exactly.
then that's
Yeah.
when women used to demand that.
Right.
I think
Now
that-
when you're not bringing that to the table, it's like, why am I giving up my independence?
Yeah.
Right.
Why am I giving up my
that's a
coins
good
and
word.
my check?
That's
What?
a good word. I think a lot of men these days now are saying they don't want women who have this I'm an independent
Independent
woman.
woman,
I don't
yeah.
need
Spirit.
anybody to do anything for me.
Right.
I don't think they want that type of woman.
But this is
Because
the
those
thing.
type of women or those that have the same type of characteristics won't submit.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're
In the
masculine,
aspects.
and in most cases, they don't see the benefit that a man brings to the relationship anymore.
Yeah.
And men, you
And
know,
can
if we are equally the providers, then now we roommates in a sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We
So
are.
let's
That's
just
why I
be
don't
honest,
believe in
'cause
50-50.
women, we
Right.
really look at situations like that.
That's
like
true.
if you splitting the bills, we roommates.
Yeah.
Right.
So now
I can do what I want
I
to
can
do.
do what I want to do,
You-
and
you know,
and there's a little bit of that testosterone that says, no, I have that authority, I have that power,
Yeah.
and then they want to
And see,
enforce it
and-
in different type of
right,
ways.
but that's
Especially
the
the
reason
black
why.
man.
And
Uh-huh,
exactly,
uh-huh.
that's when
'Cause he
it,
comes
that's
with a lot
why
of energy, a
that's
lot of
why a
ego.
lot of
Exactly.
this too is referring back to generations past, because of the simple fact is that
But we're living
granddaddy
in the
didn't.
past a lot.
I know, but
We still
granddaddy
live
didn't
in-
have to deal with a modern woman.
Right.
But
Right.
here's how I define it. I don't think the modern day black man wants a woman who is evenly yoked.
Equally yoked to him in what sense? That she's coming with
I don't
that
think he
same
can
level or matching his
I don't
He
think.
can't
level
compete.
of
Let me tell you
aggression.
something.
Or,
One thing about it, I've always known this. A woman who is more successful, a black woman who is more successful than a black
It
man,
breeds envy.
she more than likely will be single
Right.
for a very long time.
It breeds envy.
well, I think
Well-
it breeds. I do think it breeds competition because I was married
breeds
one time,
competition.
and both
It
of us
does.
were in corporate,
Right.
And I felt like at times there was this constant competition, and I'm
Yes.
looking at him saying, if you my man, and if you really want to be my man, my husband,
Right.
then there are certain things and responsibilities I need you to take over,
Right.
And
But-
when
but
you
that's the
need my
thing.
check to match it,
Right, but
and then
see,
you
that's
go through a
different.
divorce and
But
things
they're not
change.
able
Now
to
they
do
want
it.
to
They
get
can't handle
alimony and
it.
all this stuff. You hear all these men get
Yeah.
But that's
alimony.
why when I did, because I had to do the work. And when I went into therapy, that was the first thing that lady said to me.
What?
She said, don't you ever date a man outside your pay grade ever again.
But that's
Because often
unrealistic.
but if it no, she said, I'm not saying if he makes 80, you make 100, y'all can make that work, because if either one of you all leave, you can take care of yourself.
Yeah.
But if you make 100 and he make 30, if he cannot afford to take care of you in the standard in which you are living, so at some
But
point
what
it's
about
gonna
the joint
be.
standard of living? Because if y'all break up, he got to take care of his own
Own
bills.
bills, yeah.
But
You take
but,
care of your
but
if
this
you
is
know
the
what
thing.
lifestyle that you're
But it's a
providing.
lifestyle, and that's the reason why a lot of these men are getting alimony.
Right.
Because so her
Because I had one
advice,
ask me for alimony.
her advice is making sense. For me to not date nobody outside of my pay grade, so I won't even be in a precarious
But
position.
don't you go
Gotcha.
into the situation then looking at it saying, all right, now I got to start qualifying you by your paycheck because
Yeah,
of what
because
might
then it
happen
becomes
at the
about
end
finances
of the
and
situation.
not
Well,
about
the-
love.
the
What
thing
happened
is-
to the
What
love?
happened to the love?
But you know what?
Because it becomes
but-
a mad day.
But
What
to
happened
be
to the
A
quite
love?
mad day is when people change.
And
that's
that's
true.
all they thinking
But
about.
not only that, I'm not trying to be mean. Everybody try to negate finances, but it's in the top 3 for divorce. And
Absolutely.
love is cute until you hit a switch and it
But
don't
what
cut
happens-
on,
but-
or you come and then people telling you got evictions, or the sheriff is coming to foreclose on your home.
how did
So
we get here?
love, because I'm the financial girl. So at that, please be clear.
Perspective
So
will always
I need for you to
about
be
that.
eminently
Respect on the
clear.
name.
Because at the end of the day,
Financial girl.
love is fine, but it's
Yeah.
not enough.
Enough, yeah.
You have to
In
still be
today's
able to.
environment,
and
it was
yeah.
then, but it's not
but you
good
got to
enough
realize
now.
too, bread was a dime. Bread cost $5.
Right, but the
Eggs cost
wages-
$7.
but the wages
Now
was-
that's another story, but it's all relative for the time.
Right.
If you were coming together, working together, and that's what grandmama used to do in the past now, because she
You got
did a
grandma
job.
again.
Yeah, she might have washed
Don't
clothes.
think she
or-
wasn't working.
Yeah,
There
she
was
might have
some
did.
tangible.
That's true. But what I'm saying is that love is beautiful, but you have to be able to supply your needs. And if a man is not able to do that, he is not in a position. When you got to do all of this work too, you cannot afford to ask nobody to submit.
I don't
You
think
just
those type of
can't.
men-
I hear
those
what
type
you're
of
saying.
men are
I hear what you're
asking
saying.
women to submit. A
Yes,
man
they
that's only
are.
making $30,000 and a woman that's making $100,000.
I
I don't
think-
think he's asking a woman
But
to
you
submit.
know what?
Yeah.
I think it's
Asking, but the
man.
expectation is still in the back of his mind.
and here
Yes.
is a
Yeah.
different spin on that because
It is. It's still in the
although
back.
y'all
It's
is using the word submission, I think the next appropriate thing is to evaluate his expectations.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
really
Yeah.
what
That
it
would
is.
be the
Yeah.
solution.
Like when can you afford to pay for submission?
Yeah.
But what you're really saying is, can you come to the table with all this
Oh,
stuff that
yeah.
you think
Yeah.
a
Right.
woman should be now?
Yeah.
And you aren't able to afford what you're asking for, you might need to modify your expectations.
Exactly, but
know
a
what I'm
lot
saying?
of the expectations for women, period,
But women too.
is high.
Women
Yeah.
too. It goes both ways because these sisters come to the table with 2 coins that they
Yeah.
put together.
Exactly.
And
There you
you
go.
know,
Now, it's some broke women
Yeah.
out there. It is.
And we want a
I'm
rich
just
man,
saying.
somebody that
and you
can't
can't even read or write,
Yeah.
honey. No, ma'am.
And you don't know how to submit.
But it's a lot of, but that's a lot. It's a lot
Baby,
of
you
that.
don't even know how to boil
That's
hot
another-
water, child.
Exactly.
No.
So I mean, we could go back and forth all day long
Yeah.
on this one,
Right.
And
But
I
I
know
just-
we have
I
our
just think-
opinions,
I
and
really
I
just think
swapped over a little bit.
Right, but I just do. You
So
swapped
you
over a
started
little
looking-
bit.
She said she looked from the outside in.
Exactly, but you know what?
Right.
I might be right. What
I
I'm
ain't
saying
going
is,
over that.
come on,
I'm gonna always
sugar.
be on the
Come
opposite
on,
side.
sugar. You
need to
know you
change
want to
your
be on that
expectations.
side with
And it goes both
me.
ways for
Yeah,
genders.
it does.
You need to change
And
your
you
Right.
guys can see, we could go
Uh-huh.
back and forth on this conversation. We're going to keep it going. It's going to be heated. Take this discussion back to your peach brunch, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.